Hello there. Today's news is March 19th, 2017. I am J.C. Hillerin here, reporting you for today. Our top story. One of the most convoluted Supreme Court confirmation battles in history finally reaches the U.S. Senate Monday, 401 days after the death of legendary Justin, Antonin Scalia left a vacancy that spanned 2 presidencies and 2 nominees. Federal Appeals Court Judge Neil Gorsuch, President Trump's choice to be the nation's 113th Supreme Court Justice, faces several days of harsh questioning from Democrats still seething at the Republican-controlled Senate refusal to consider President Barack Obama's equally qualified nominee last year. The 49-year-old Coloradan, a devoted fan and occasionally fishing buddy at Scalia, will seem an unlikely subject of attack. Dapper, folksy, and incomplete, qualified by way of Columbia, Harvard Law, Oxford, and 2 Supreme Court clerkship. The 10-year veteran of the U.S. Supreme Court of Appeals of the 10th Circuit in Denver has charmed senators from both parties during 72 courtesy visits. President Trump's first budget proposal to Congress last week specifically identified steep cuts to hundreds of domestic programs, but Meals on Wheels wasn't one of them. The popular program, which mainly uses volunteer drivers to provide hot meals to older Americans across the country, doesn't directly receive federal fundings, as Trump's budget director Mick Mulvaney told reporters back on Thursday that Meals on Wheels is not a federal program. Nevertheless, Meals on Wheels quickly became the poster child for the impact of Trump's budget cuts even before the budget released. Representative Keith Ellison of Minnesota tweeted that Trump had called for the elimination of Meals on Wheels, and the Congressional Progressive Caucus quickly dubbed it the starvation budget. The truth is, Trump's budget calls the elimination of one program that some of the nation's 5,000 Meals on Wheels groups rely on. Community Development Block Grants, a $3 billion program that started in the Ford administration to give states and cities more flexibility in how they combat poverty. Jimmy Breslin, the iconic of Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist who measured my New Yorkers with simple and stirring prose for almost half a century, has died, sadly, Sunday at his Manhattan home. Breslin, 88, had been ill with pneumonia. I can't pronounce it, sorry about that, but appeared to be improved Saturday. Stepdaughter Emily Eldridge told US of A today. "It's an end of an era," Eldridge said. "He was a force of nature. He was complicated, but he had a great life and a lot of fun." Breslin was working with for the city of tabloid Daily News. He won a Pulitzer's in 1986 for commentary. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson met Sunday with Chinese President Xi Jinping, talking about diplomacy and shared interest after earlier warning that the military option is on the table to stop North Korea's nuclear program. North Korea tested a rocket engine over the weekend while Tillerson was in Beijing. In the half-hour meeting, Xi about common interests of the United States and China, the world's two largest economies and greatest trade partners, and said Xi and President Trump should talk more even after a very lengthy telephone conversation the two leaders already have. North Korea has conducted a ground test of a new type of high-thrust rocket engine that leader Kim Jong-un is calling a revolutionary breakthrough for the country's space program, the North States media said on Sunday. Kim's attended Saturday's test at the Sohae launch site, according to the Korean Central News Agency, which said the test was intended to confirm the new type of an engine's thrust, power, and gauge the reliability of its control system and structural safety. All right. Now, check up on the weather for today here in the United States. It is 46 degrees in New York City, 35 in Boston, 38 and cloudy in Buffalo, 45 partly sunny in Chicago, as well up here in Minnesota is 54, partly sunny, as well down in Sioux Falls, partly sunny at 75, oh boy. And let's see, in Amarillo, Texas, looks like sunny at 90, oh boy. And down in Arizona, 92 and sunny. Meanwhile, in Hawaii is 79 and mostly sunny. And looks like partly to mostly sunny at 21 up in Alaska. And 64 and cloudy in San Francisco. Then in Hollywood it's 74, sunny, and 81 and sunny down in Florida of Miami, and sunny and 62 for Atlanta, and 37 and cloudy in Detroit. Okay. Now let's get into sports news. Number 7 seed University of Michigan delivered a shock 73-69 upset over Louisville, one of the tournament's favorites on Sundays, thanks in a large part of some fundamental errors, forms coach Rick Pitino's team. The players certainly enjoyed themselves afterwards too, especially John Bellin. He stormed into the room with the Super Soaker and he began spraying all of his players. A large Confederate flag is flying from the top of a parking garage next to the arena in Greensville, South Carolina, that's hosting two men's NCAA tournament. Second round games is tonight. The flag is being flown by a small group of protesters, according to the Associated Press, which arrived this morning and plans to stay throughout the games tonight. Protesters says they hope to make their presence known to the NCAA, which lifted the ban against the state of South Carolina last year because the Confederate flag no longer flies at the State House. Oh boy. Sorry. And another sports news. Sitting NBA players for regular season games remains a hot button issue for the league. The topic has been in the news for the past week following Golden State's decision to sit Steph Curry, Klay Thomas, Draymond Green, and Andre Iguodala against San Antonio back on the 11th of this month of March on a Saturday night ABC's game, and Cleveland decision to sit LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Love Saturday against the Los Angeles Clippers on Saturday. Though the league is working to reduce instances in which teams sit players through thoughtful scheduling, the issues isn't going away. Here is a look at the NBA Commissioner Adam Silver's comments and philosophy on the topic in the past couple of years, starting with the February's All-Star game down in New Orleans and going back to April 17th of 2015. Wisconsin's really good team that got egregiously hosted by the NCAA section committee and then proved it. The number 8 seed Badgers of Wisconsin victory against defending champion and number 1 overall seed Villanova was fantastic and stunning, and Duke had to be so happy. The Blue Devils are seated second in the East region, but if you have ever doubted their status as a national championship favorites, it's because you don't believe in karma or Las Vegas. Villanova was the number 1 seed in the region and seemingly the only real threat to Duke because the Wildcats had been arguably the most consistent team in the country. Then in some baseball news, they were chastised for not showing enough flair, reduced for being underachievers, and slammed for not having their greatest players start for them. no matter all Team US of A did was win Saturday evening, stunning the defending champion Dominican Republic 6-3 last night and advancing to the championship round of the World Baseball Classic for only the second time in history. They will play Japan at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 here in this time zone, and 7 out in the Rockies, and 6 out in the West Coast for Tuesday at Dodger Stadium, with Puerto Rico and the Netherlands play tomorrow. The two winners will meet Wednesday night for the WBC Championship game. You can argue that this was a US of A's greatest victory in the WBC. But while they were elated, they didn't dance across the field in front of the sellout crowd of 43,002 people at Petco Park, which is in San Diego. And that is it for your news, weather, and sports now. You take care and you have a good one. And goodbye for now.